Oh, you're going to come. That's brilliant. Fantastic. Thank you for joining me on our virtual trip to Mount Everest. So happy to have you so that I don't have to go on my own. And I'm sure that you've really thought carefully about this and you're up for some adventure, which is why you're joining me. Fantastic. So, we're going to talk a little bit about how we are going to run our expedition. I'm going to show you a thing or two about where we're heading to, and then I'll talk to you in lots of different little videos like this throughout our trip as we make our progress towards Mount Everest and eventually the rooftop of the world. So I hope you are ready for some adventure. I am going to just show you something now. So I'm going to shrink myself down small, and I'm going to show you what I've got on my screen, because there's some things that you need to know. We are certainly going to be able to do a little bit of sightseeing on this trip, but it's very much an expedition. So we're kind of more like explorers really than tourists. So we are going to think very carefully about what we're going to need to bring on this expedition. So we're probably looking at taking a big backpack. We're probably going to have to be a little bit flexible in terms of what we take and what we use, because we're going to need some stuff for kind of being around the cities here in England if you're leaving from England, and where we land in Nepal. But then we're going to need kind of gear for different weathers, and certainly cold and snow as we approach the top of the mountain. You don't need to worry about tents or anything like that, because I'll take care of that. We'll set all that up for you. It's just your own gear, your clothing, and the sort of things that you might want just to sort of keep yourselves entertained if there is any spare time. So before we meet at the airport, if you could have a think for me about what we're going to bring, that would be absolutely fantastic. And like I said, we're not going as tourists here, so I'd also like you to find out a little bit about Nepal, which is a country where Mount Everest is situated. It's kind of on the border actually between Nepal and a part of what's now China called Tibet. But we are going to approach Mount Everest from the Nepalese side, so I want you to know where we're heading. So this is just going to involve doing a little bit of research again before we meet at the airport. I want you to find where Nepal is. I want you to label it on the map. I want you to identify which continent it's in, and I want you to find out the name of the capital city and label that too. And then also Nepal has an extremely interesting flag, which you will see when you come to do the research around that, and I'd like you to try and draw that for me too. Okay, so there's a lot to think about there just to get ourselves mentally ready. What we're going to do next is I am going to say goodbye in a moment, because I've got to get myself sorted out as well. And then I'm going to meet you again down at the airport at Heathrow. We're going to fly from Heathrow. So you guys will need to get yourselves down there. Whether you want to think about how you're going to get down there and plan out your transport as well is entirely up to you, or whoever is coordinating your part of the expedition. I think I'll probably jump on a train. So I am going to leave you in a second and start getting my suitcase packed, and I'm going to need to dig out my passport as well, and you guys will need to do that. When you get down to the airport, look out for me, and I'll try and be holding a sign so you can see me clearly, and then we can start making preparations to find our flight and get on our way. Okay, see you soon.